This is our Lamb. This is God's firstborn Son, given to man, offered as oblation. This is our Lamb.
So what a party Palm Sunday must have been. I mean, if we think about Mardi Gras in the way that Mardi Gras is played out down south, and we think about every time that we have a parade for any other purpose or holiday, it is quite the bash. And that was no different than what Jesus had encountered when he entered the village. And these are people that knew him, and I'm sure that there were some people that were just curious onlookers that wanted to get a glimpse at this man who was so revered that they had to have such a grand welcoming for him. And then something happens somewhere along the way that as Jesus enters, full well knowing what his purpose is going to be, full well knowing how the story ends for our salvation, that people begin to sell him out. People begin to turn their back on him. And I don't know how quickly it happens or at what instant the crowds turned on him. But this story, the leading in which the way that we process into worship or the way that we process into Mass is one with fanfare. And then we hear the story of the Passion, and we are just smacked into reality. And I think that what we place ourselves in the story with, what theme that we draw from putting ourselves in the story, is that we should not be for sale. I mean, we live in a society where it tells us to want more and be more, and celebrities on television that we should look like them and be thinner and be healthier. And we can't be everything that the outside world tells us to be. And we live in a world where people sell out for less than what they're worth. And that's kind of what happened. These people were for sale, and they allowed their values and what they believed to be compromised because it was what everybody else was doing. And nonetheless, Jesus just journeyed on, going about his plan and his purpose. And he did it with dignity, and he did it with grace, and he did it with gentleness. Because as ironic as it sounds, Jesus' purpose on this earth was not fulfilled until he met the cross. The cross completed Jesus. It made him one again with his Father. It allowed the prophecies to be fulfilled. And so all of the fanfare, all of the celebration was just part of the journey. I can recall a time in my own life when I had taken on a business venture to run a business. And when I entered that business, I entered it with the same fanfare. For I was supposed to be the one who would save the business, and I was supposed to be the one who would revive it and make it new. And after a period of time, when life got in the way and the world took over and the business failed, I then became the object of ridicule and one of failure. And it wasn't that at all. And I wish the people that felt to look at me that way that they did, and one that let them down, would know that it was just the final call. It was my Good Friday experience, my call into ministry, where despite my anger, despite my frustrations with God and not letting my plan work out, that he said, had I never shown you what you always wanted, you never would have done what I called you to do. And I find hope for everyone in my own situation to say that people will love us, they will revere us, and at times, jealousy, life, the world, for whatever reason, they will turn their backs on us. And they are just part of the chapter. They are just part of the story. And sometimes they are part of our journey that God calls us to take in order to stay true to who we are and to fulfill the ultimate purpose. Find the beauty in this week as you prepare in the emotion, as you prepare in all that God has to offer you in his resurrection. Be one with him and appreciate the journey that he took for you and I.
And